Well, I don't necessarily know what you think about the Trinity. That's how I was gonna sort of.
Then how do you know that you disagree with me?
Did I say I disagree? Maybe I do. I just
Yeah.
need to ask you what you believe about the Trinity. I guess to clarify, I could disagree with the conventional way people describe the Trinity, because it oftentimes comes out with three gods. My bad for the assumption.
Okay. So, when you say monarchical Trinitarianism, I'm still learning all these terms.
Hmm.
Is that the view that the Father is basically the essence, basically, and that the Son and the Spirit just come from the Father's essence?
Not quite. It's like identity wise, God. He's the only God in identity, right? But predicatively, like Jesus and the Holy Spirit are God, but not in identity, if you get what I mean.
I see. So that just by predication.
Hmm.
Okay. And so the other view of the Trinity, or how other people explain it, you're saying that that basically the LPT works against them.
The LPT, is that like another word of way of saying transitive of identity? Is that what you're?
That's that's the argument they come up with. It's called the logical problem of the Trinity, when they argue against you know the law of identity. They try to say that the Trinity goes against the law of identity.
Not necessarily that would what I'd be talking about. I'd be talking about something called the transitive identity, which like it just talks about how if you use this like the standard, because we count by identity usually. That's like the standard counting method, and um, via what people usually say about the Trinity, using the standard counting method, right? You do get three gods because you just be like, okay, is the Father the Son? No. Is the Son the Holy Spirit? No. What about vice versa? Are they each other? No. Are they God? Yes. Okay, now you have three gods. And then, like, if you count by identity, if there's a distinction between them, then they're separate in identity, therefore there be three gods. But that's just via the standard counting method. So that's, I think, monarchical Trinitarians kind of solve that by just, I guess, saying that the Father is the only God in identity. And when you're making a statement about like Jesus and the Holy Spirit being God, it's via predication, not identity.
So what exactly does that mean, that through predication, they're God?
Yeah, so like an example of predication would just be like God Logic and MK, which is my name, are human, right? But obviously we're different humans. Um, so when you say Jesus is God, you're just referring to essence, not identity, right? You're just saying that the Son shares traits with the Father because the Father is the one God.
Okay. So the Father is the one God by identity, and um, the Son and the Holy Spirit are God by predication.
Yeah, exactly.
Not by,
Hmm.
okay. So when Jesus is called God and the Holy Spirit is called God and things of this nature in the scriptures, you have no problem with that, because your understanding is not that it's God by identity, but by essence.
Yeah, yeah, because you could define God in two different ways, as in divine nature and an identity, right? So if you ask, is Jesus God? There's going to be two different ways to answer the question. If they're asking, is he God in identity? You would be like, no. Is he God in essence? You'd be like, yes.
Okay, interesting. And so, what are some objections that you usually get?
Well, some of the objections would people be, I guess, misunderstanding the view by trying to apply transitive identity because they kind of think it's the conventional way to interpret the Trinity. Which, if it was, then maybe the transitive identity argument would work and it actually would come out with three gods. But Yeah, majority just like misunderstandings of like my argument. That would be some sections. Um, but I did want to ask what's your view like on the Trinity and stuff, right? Because we're both Christians at the end of the day. I'm just trying to figure out what you got.
I'm learning this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the intricacies of the Trinity like this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning. So, which is why I don't really have an objection to what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm taking note of it, and I'm going to look into, because the philosophy side of it that I'm not strong in. It's not
Oh,
my strong,
okay. No, fair enough. Fair enough. 100%. Um.
but it's interesting to me. It definitely is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess if you don't have any straightforward views on the Trinity, that's very understanding. Maybe we can have this conversation once you like get into it.
Yeah.